Recently, a fellow by the name of Just Background Noise released a video on if you can beat all of Half-Life Source only walking. Now, this was a pretty good video. I'm actually a pretty big fan of Just Background Noise. However, I was noticing that in the spaces where Just Background Noise felt like he had to run, there were one or two movement mechanics that I think would have been able to allow an only walking playthrough. So I went ahead and did a playthrough myself, and I'm going to be looking at those 5 separate spots individually and showing you exactly how you can get by without running.
And here we are. The last time we'll never not run. We gotta jump across the elevator shaft and land on that ladder. I had a crazy idea that a grenade might give us a bit of momentum, sorta TF2 demo man my way over, but that did a whole lot of nothing. I even tried air strafing, where you jump and move left or right without moving forward. Didn't seem to do anything.
Now, believe it or not, JBN actually had the right idea here. There's just a few key things that he probably didn't know about. You see, in many Quake-derived games, splash damage is based on the distance between the explosion and the thing taking damage. In simple terms, the closer to the explosion you are, the more damage you take. Why does this matter for us? Well, damage boosting, like JBN mentions, is directly proportional to the amount of damage received. More damage, bigger boost. If we cook our grenades for a while, do a pre-strafe, jump, then release the grenade such that it explodes instantly next to us, that gives us just enough distance to be able to make the gap without running. This took me a handful of tries, despite many hours in Quake-esque games. So I wouldn't have blamed Just Background Noise or anyone else for thinking it was impossible, even if they knew all the tricks. Regardless, that is how you bypass the first run.
Turning on the power is a bit trickier. Not for a normal playthrough, but for this contrived playthrough. The floor in this corridor is broken, and we can't make the jump without a running start. We return the way we came, but in reverse, and arrive at the hole in the floor again.
I'm going to consolidate run 2 and 3 here since they're practically the same, but it's the same idea as last time. Thankfully, since the gap is much smaller, you can afford to be much less precise with your grenade throw. The only thing that makes this tricky is that you need enough health to make the return trip after turning on the power. So, be sure to stock up from the 2 health stations, and try to not take any unnecessary damage. Otherwise, you may need to reload an older save.
Looks like another running jump. Is that 4 now? Who'd have guessed? All the required running would just be supplemental. Second fiddle to a jump, always coming in for the assist.
Run 4, no surprise, is another grenade jump. It's a more narrow platform, and the distance you need to clear is fairly long, so it may take a few tries. But, in my opinion, it's not nearly as difficult as the elevator jump.
Is this gonna count as 1 run, or 3 runs? I'm gonna count it as 1.
And finally, run 5. Now I know Just Background Noise figured out that you can skip this one and removed it from the count, but I just wanted to show my own little solution. By bonking your head into this wooden crate, you can pull it off of the green crates, then crouch jump onto it to reach the ladder. To end off this video, I just want to take a moment to inform anyone who may not already know that Half-Life Source is definitely not the best way to experience Half-Life. There are many visual bugs, scripting errors, and unnecessary additions that unfortunately detract from the game, rather than enhancing it. If you want to experience Half-Life, either for the first time or as a returning player, I'd highly recommend Half-Life Legacy, a mod for the game that keeps the original game almost entirely the same, while adding some quality of life features and options to the engine, including Steam Workshop support. You can even play this map from acclaimed Quake mapper Avix, author of Penis Day at the Gym. It's so peak. And, finally, on the off chance that Just Background Noise views this video, I hope this video didn't come off as too critical. The movement mechanics I mentioned are the kinds of things you don't really come to realize yourself unless you're deeply ingrained in the engine itself or the speedrunning community. So I can't blame you for coming to the conclusions that you did. Like I said at the beginning, I'm a big fan, and if you, just background noise, or anyone for that matter, have any questions about Quake or Quake-derived games, feel free to hit me up. I'm more than happy to share whatever knowledge I have about these games. Anyway, that's all for me. I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Freeman, I've been waiting for you. One of your